Hey, this is Greg Bosson, national trainer and CPA specializing in accounting and QuickBooks for nonprofits. Wanted to give you a little teaser this month for a webinar that we have coming up on probably the most important aspect of QuickBooks, at least the most powerful aspect of QuickBooks, which is downloading transactions. In the desktop version, as well as the online edition, I'm in the desktop now, you could either sit and enter each transaction individually. Here's where you would go to enter credit card charges. Some people enter them in lump form, which is wrong. You're supposed to enter them individually. But anyway, we'll talk about that during the webinar. But you could sit and enter transactions individually, or you could simply download them. Obviously, downloading is going to make your life a lot easier and your time in QuickBooks quicker, and also you're going to have more detailed information. So I'm going to go to the little bank feeds section here. This is something you can do in the desktop or the online edition. I'm in the desktop now. I've already set the account up in QuickBooks and linked it to the bank, which only takes a minute. But I'm going to click Download Transactions, and let me just show you how easy and quick it is. Just click OK here, and in no time at all, it downloaded 125 transactions. So now the transactions are actually sitting in a holding tank. I'll click on the transaction list, and then you can enter each one of the transactions and point it somewhere. This is an Amazon purchase. I'll just point it to office supplies. Listen, when you don't know where to point something, put it to office supplies. Especially if you're trying to cheat somebody, then they'll never find it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Anyway, and we can even, if you're a nonprofit or your client is a nonprofit, we like to use classes to track reports on a by program basis. You can point it to a program here, and then I'll just quick add. So it's very easy to do this. Now, making things even easier, and we'll go through this when we are actually doing the webinar, is they have these rules here that will once you create the rule, it'll auto populate. Now the rules are in the desktop version. They're also in the online edition. So I'm going to go over here to the online edition. Here's where you go to get to your downloaded transactions in the online edition. And these downloads are free for the most part, provided you know what you're doing. But I'm going to go to the rules, and I'm going to show you a rule that we set up. And it's real easy to set up rules. I'll show you. I'll just edit this rule. This is for a place called Alans, and I've set up a rule that says whenever the bank text from the download contains the word Alans in it, then the rule that I created says point 70% of it to office supplies. Here we go with office supplies again. For this particular program, and 30% to that particular, well, we put it to admin. The point is, you can use the rules in the online edition to have QuickBooks memorize the splits of a transaction. And the benefit of that is when you go to where your downloaded transactions are that are waiting to be added to QuickBooks, anything that is from Alans, let's just go down, you see how it's already been categorized. Now, it's a rule. I'm going to click on it so you can see what it did. I'll click Edit Split. But you can see how for this particular transaction, which was $7, they put 70% to the Guidance Center, and they put the other 30% to admin, which is $7 and $3. The point is, it did the math for me. So, and now it becomes very easy, and you can actually add these things in batch form rather than adding them individually. But it makes life so easy. And so I guess my point is that probably the most powerful part of QuickBooks, again, is downloading transactions. So if you are an accountant or you are a nonprofit, whoever you are, even if you just work with anybody, not even just nonprofits, you really need to be downloading transactions. And we're going to show you all about how to do it in the desktop as well as the online edition. All right. So I'm just going to end here with the desktop, and I will see you at the webinar.